Welcome back to our goal setting series. This is video number 3. Previously, we came up with all of these wild ideas, picked our yearly goals, broke them down to the point of having monthly milestones. If you haven't gotten that far in the process yet, definitely check out the rest of the playlist. I'll link it up above. Get started on video 1 and work your way up to this video. So we'll see you back here. But for those of you who are following along, let's get started on taking our plan to the next level. In today's video, we're going to talk about the harsh reality of obstacles, but we're going to plan for success in overcoming those obstacles. We're going to break down our monthly tasks into weekly and daily tasks, and that will take our roadmap to completion. So let's go. Roll that intro. See you on the other side. Let's talk about the harsh reality of what gets in most people's way when they set goals. Well, when you set SMART goals, you don't take into account the things that are going to get in your way, the obstacles, the reality of life. So I want you to go through each of your monthly milestones for all 6 of the domains that you set your goals for. I want you to go through each of the milestones and identify what potential obstacles could get in your way. And I mean, be honest with yourself. If you're like me and you have lower energy in the evening, well, recognize that maybe you need to create another pot of tea, or you need to have some snacks before you work, or you know that you're not going to plan things in the evening. You plan your obstacles so that you know you can overcome. Next to each of those obstacles, I want you to identify what you can do to overcome them, either long-term or short-term. So something that's larger might require you to brainstorm what resources you need or what resources you need to get access to. Something short term is like, what's something that takes less than 5 minutes you can do to overcome something? Like, can you call to schedule an appointment? That's a short-term thing that you can do to overcome obstacles. For me, a short-term thing is making sure that I schedule things into my planner, because that becomes my master task list. Something that's a longer-term goal was when I was looking at getting photographers for an event. It was one of my milestones, so I needed to make sure that I looked for and planned the time to put enough energy into finding the right photographers. It wasn't something I could do in 5 minutes. It needed a lot more time and energy, but making sure I planned those into my schedule, then I was able to overcome those obstacles. No excuses. Because what do we say here? We say options, not excuses. I got a question for you. In your past attempts at achieving goals, at setting goals, at going through this whole process, what's gotten in your way in the past? I know for me, it's been a whole lot of things, but most of them resided in my own head, my own voice, the own excuses I gave myself. So let me know what's been getting in your way down in the comments. I'd love to get this conversation started. Now let's get back to filling out our roadmap. So I want you to look back at those monthly milestones you've created. Now we have like armor on us as we go into battle to achieve these goals, because we've identified the obstacles and the things that might get in our way. Now we're going to take those monthlies and we're going to break them into 4 weekly tasks. This is where we start to get more granular. I want you to think about the systems you need to create. I want you to think about what needs to be built. What do you need to learn? Who do you need to connect with? What resources do you need to gather or connect to? These are the things I want you to think about when it comes to achieving those monthly milestones. From there, break them down into those 4 weekly action steps. And now we can talk about the nitty-gritty, daily action steps. If you haven't already, make sure you take the simple daily action step of hitting the subscribe button and becoming a visibility hacker here on the channel. Every Sunday, I sit down with my weekly planner and my stationery kit, and I plan my daily goals. I look at my weekly actions and I figure out what do I need to do on the daily in order to achieve those. Can I break down a weekly task into smaller bits so I can achieve those throughout the week? Or is it a task that I can do in one foul swoop? Figuring out how to time share your tasks is an art and a science unto itself. So knowing if your task needs a large chunk of concentrated time in your schedule, or the task can be broken up into smaller bits that you can spread out throughout the week. Starting to understand what you can achieve and how you like to focus, this is essential to learning and mastering the skill of setting transformational goals. So here, I have a visualization for you so we can get on the same page. So here, close your eyes. Imagine that you have a bowl in front of you. To the left of the bowl, you have these larger rocks that fit in the palm of your hand. They're like a whole fistful size. And then on the other side of the bowl, you have a series of gravel and a pile of sand. Now, the task is to fill the bowl. And what most people do is they put the sand in, and then they put the gravel in, and then they put the rocks in. And when you look down at that bowl, you realize that the big rocks don't all fit. Most times when we do this activity in person, oh yeah, you can open your eyes, by the way. When we do this activity in person, people are like, you gave us too much stuff. There's not enough space for all of this stuff you gave us. And this is a visualization of our schedules. If we think that these big rocks, which are the things that are most important to us, are the things that we schedule in last, whereas the sand represents those small daily tasks that come up that really consume our time. The gravel are those meetings and those things in between. If we schedule the daily tasks first, then we lose the amount of time and space for those large important rocks. So instead, I want you to revisualize this. I want you to close your eyes again, visualize that bowl, and instead I want you to put those big rocks in first. Those are the things that are most important to us. Those are the tasks that are going to help us achieve these goals of transformation. Then we can move in and spread in that gravel. We can shake up the bowl and the gravel will settle in. And then we can take the sand, and the sand will fill in all of the nooks and crannies as it does so wonderfully. But we need to harness each of those different types of actions that are going to take up our time, our energy, and our resources, and we need to plan them accordingly. So when we set goals like this, when we figure out what our daily tasks are going to be in order to achieve these massive transformational goals, we have to first start by planning our time, our daily schedule, the actions we do on a daily basis, by first prioritizing actions that will transform in those goals. And that's why, if we go back to domains, that's why we focus on our family as a domain unto itself. Because without that, we sacrifice those relationships in order to achieve in other areas. So, my friends, it's pretty simple. Plan your big rocks, then your gravel, then your sand. And I will see you in our next one. Wait. Make sure you check out the whole playlist so you can set the most impactful transformational goals for you and your business. Check it out over here. See you in the next one. Until we do, remember I love you, be excellent to each other, and just